Hello, dear viewers. I am a global nationalist. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the globe. Today is the third Sunday of the month, sorry, and so I will be talking about the Quad. Today I will talk about how Japan's re-election of Fumio Kishida will affect the Quad. In late October, October 31st, Japan had an election to the lower house of the parliament, called the House of Representatives. In this, the Liberal Democratic Party, also known as the LDP, was re-elected with a majority of the seats, and so Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has will continue as Prime Minister. Now, the elections were not focused on foreign policy. That was not a main topic of the elections. However, they, uh, there was no sign that the people of Japan disagreed with Kishida's foreign policy, which was hawkish towards China. And so, by being re-elected, he can continue with that agenda, which is, I think, a very good sign for the Quad and the larger Asia Pacific, or rather Indo Pacific region. Um, yeah, so what can happen now is that will now what I'll say is that how Japan's will continue to engage with the three other Quad partners. First, I'll talk about Australia. In a recent report by the Australian government has said that they want to develop greater ties with Japan. This goes beyond just security ties and trade ties, but also cultural ties and people to people ties. They also said that uh, Australia needs to get more investments from Japan and that it needs to increase its trade with Japan, and also that Australia and Japan have to uh, work together more determinedly, militarily, and this might be possible because Japan's prime minister has indicated, and along with the rest of the party, the Liberal Democratic Party, that he would be willing to change the constitution of Japan, at least one article, Article 9, which uh, forbids Japan from having a standing army, air force, and navy, and renounces war. Um, a certain right wing party in Japan called the Japanese Innovation Party, which is a new party and gained 40 seats in this election when it won only 11 in the last, is wants to put pressure on the LDP to amend this part of the constitution. This is because China's belligerent behavior against Japan and Taiwan and the rest of the Indo-Pacific countries that it neighbors has pressured Japan into rethinking its military strategy and wanting to build up its military capabilities. Australia, having just signed a nuclear submarine sharing deal with the US and UK, is a good partner for Japan. It can sell weapons to Japan. It can uh, sell jets and ships. This can really make Japan a potent force against China. And yeah, so I think that the current prime minister in Japan will be good for ties with Australia, and that this will strengthen the Quad because Japan and Australia are the two countries in the Quad which are primarily reliant on their navies to defeat China because they are island nations. And these are also the two weakest military uh, countries in the grouping. And so, if they can tie up together militarily, strengthen each other, then that will make the Quad itself much more dangerous towards China. Now, I want to talk about Japan and the US. Uh, a few weeks ago, the US Trade Representative had said that they want to develop uh, forums for to discuss trade related issues with Japan. This is because under President Trump, the previous president, the US had imposed tariffs on Japan, and later there was a small deal signed between Japan and the US, which would limit some of the tariffs, but did not resolve all the issues. Now the US wants to continue to find a solution to their trade disputes, and Japan has also said that they are willing to engage and wanting to resolve it. I think this is very good because the Quad is also an economic grouping, not just a military grouping. And if there are economic disputes between these countries, then their ability to work with each other properly will be hampered. Therefore, I think this is good, and especially the LDP, which is a conservative party and is known in Japan for being business friendly. I think it will be able to develop good trade relations with US and other countries because generally right wing parties have better economic policies which are good for trade. And also, Japan has said that they want to buy missiles which can reach 1,000 kilometers, and they want to uh, get navy vessels for war fighting, and to develop their military overall. And the US, being the most powerful, militarily powerful member of the Quad, not only the Quad but the whole world, is Japan's best ally in this case. And if Japan, through remilitarization, can become stronger so that it becomes less reliant on the US, but can actually supplement the US in a military role, then this will make China much more wary of taking on Taiwan or South Korea or any of the other countries in the region, because Japan would have the capability to defend itself. This would also prevent China from militarily trying to take over the Senkaku slash Diaoyu Islands from Japan. Now, about Japan and India, Fumio Kishida was the foreign minister in 2015 when India and Japan signed an agreement for a roadmap of India and Japan ties until 2025. This roadmaps said that India and Japan would work together to uh, for on infrastructure projects and trade and cultural ties, and would overall boost their relationship by then. I think since then, the relationship has only been on an upward trajectory. India does not have a trade dispute with Japan that I am aware of, and so it's different than the US. India also has signed an agreement with Japan to allow it to use its bases for refueling and logistics reasons. India also, I think, can sell weapons to Japan, being the second most powerful military in the Quad, and it can, uh, if in the case of a war with Japan, with China, if China attacks Japan in the east, then India can attack China from the west. This will distract China and make it easier for Japan to attack China also. And I think that Fumio Kishida is going to work on this. He has already said that he has always held that he wants to deepen relations with India, so as the entire LDP, starting from Shinzo Abe. So I think his re-election will help this, especially if Japan remilitarizes. So yeah, I think that the re-election of the Liberal Democratic Party in Japan's elections on October 21st was a good sign for the Quad, and that it will help make the Quad more powerful economically and militarily. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If you want to see more videos in this playlist about Quad countries, click here. If you want to see the previous video I made, click here. If you want to see my sources for this video, click in the description below. And thank you for watching. Vande Mataram.